So Mewtwo's coming to Tera Raids. So let's go ahead and go over some builds and some moves that we can kind of expect him to run. So as we know, Mewtwo is a Psychic type, and it is going to have that Psychic Tera type, giving itself a bigger power up than we typically do. Most of these guys in the Tera Raids have been actually not boosting their normal typing. They've been an alternate type. This is going to be the first one with its own type. So it's going to be a little interesting to see how that goes, since it is going to just be a massive legendary being able to do massive amounts of damage. Now, as I go into this, I am expecting him to be a special attacker. He is normally a special attacker, so it would make more sense, but he could be a mixed attacker. And if he is a mixed attacker, all these builds will work just fine, but we are going to be focusing on the special side, since if he is a mixed, he can't isolate into one of them. So first off, he is going to be the dex entry of 150, normal because he is a Gen 1. I am expecting him to have the modest nature. That is boosting his special attack and lowering his physical attack. So if he is running a mixed set, then it wouldn't even matter, because it's actually going to be hurting his special attack anyway, which is his strongest attack. But they could do it, and he does have the ability of Unnerve. That is a hidden ability, so I am expecting him to have that, since every 7-star has had their hidden ability already. But getting into the moves is actually kind of interesting, because he does have quite a bit of moves that he could run. I'm expecting a Future Sight, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Side Strike, Energy Ball, Electro Ball. That's kind of just like a weird coverage move. Shadow Ball. Those are solid moves. He does have access to like Hurricane and Hyper Beam, Ice Beam. But the main ones I wanted to focus on was that Focus Blast and Flamethrower. Because in our raid sets, in our events, we have actually had one Pokemon that is a 4 times weak to fire. And I don't think that they would actually give him that move if they gave us that Pokemon, to expect us to be able to use him if he does have a fire move. So I don't think he'll have that, which if he does, it does kind of make it weird why they gave us a Scizor, but it is what it is. And Focus Blast is actually our main focus here, since we are going to be using a lot of dark types, and dark types are immune to psychic types, which is great, but having that Focus Blast there is a little bit worrisome. Now he does have Calm Mind and the ability to do Nasty Plot, stuff like that, to go ahead and boost his stats even further. So to make sure that that doesn't happen, we will just be running a taunt to go ahead and stop him from Calm Minding, Nasty Plotting. He does have access to screens, so we kind of stop his setup, which is amazing. We did that with Cinderace and Greninja and all them. So nothing new with that. It's just his move coverage is very vast, so it's very interesting what he could end up running. Because as we know, it's going to be at least 7 moves, most likely 6, since it's the 4 that he comes with, and then 2 extra. Sometimes they throw on an extra move there if he does have 2 setup moves. So let's go ahead and jump into the builds. Now, 2 of them I'm not really going to be covering, because I do have builds on the channel for them. I will leave them in the card above. It is going to be for Grimmsnarl and Blissey. Grimmsnarl here is the exact same one that I have on the channel. You can go ahead and change that Tera type. He doesn't actually have to Tera to take all these hits that they could be throwing us out. Mine is an electric type, because honestly, he is a support mon, and I just don't Tera with him because I don't need to. Now for the Blissey though, the Blissey is a normal type. You could go ahead and run a Dark Tera to kind of mitigate some of that fighting weakness that you do have. But with Blissey's natural bulk on the special side, he can't do anything. If Mewtwo is running a physical move, then Blissey will be a problem. But they gave us Blissey in the attack and the support set, so I highly think Blissey's not going to be a hindrance here, and it's actually going to be a massive wall. Blissey can heal and put screens up. So again, in the card above is going to be the link to those builds. Highly recommend getting a Blissey ready, because it is a special wall. So now getting into Scizor, it is going to be one of our attacking sets. I'm a fan of Scizor. They gave him in the attacking team setup, like the event to get ready. And this is where I think the getting a flame or a fire move would be a little interesting, since they did give us him, because he is super weak. But I went ahead and gave him a Shell Bell. He could run an Assault Vest if you'd like. but I am also running that Dark Tera. So whenever we do get our Tera off, it's an automatic. He can't hit us with anything, and our bulk gets to do anything we want. So let's go ahead and jump into the moves. Now for our moves, we can run a vast majority of things. I'm running a Shell Bell right now. I've been using it in lots of 6-star raids to solo a lot of these. Very interesting. You can use a Swords Dance, a Struggle Bug, Bug Buzz, and Terra Blast. Terra Blast goes along very well because you are a physical attacker using some special moves, but when you're Terra, it'll be that Terra Dark, which is super effective against Mewtwo, and will be able to go ahead and use your physical attack stat. Now, Struggle Bug is very interesting because it will lower the special attack stats of Mewtwo, and it is a bug type, so it is actually super effective. And because it's under 50, we will be taking advantage of the ability of Technician. So Bug Buzz is going to be lowering the special defense side. We do have some special attackers, so if we do go ahead and use this, it is perfectly fine. It's helping our team out. Some things you could run instead, if you are running the Assault Vest set, you would swap out your Swords Dance with like a Bullet Punch just to give us another attacking move here. You can easily throw on, if you're not running the Assault Vest, a Helping Hand or Defog to get rid of screens. Just keep in mind, Defog can get rid of your own screens. It's a little tricky in Tera Raids, so I would recommend it on the low end. Try and use, you know, a Swords Dance or a Bullet Punch set before you go throwing on the Defog. But this set right here is a very solid set, even if you go into 6-star raids. So let's go ahead and jump into the spreads. Now, as we get into these spreads, some of them actually came out to be relatively the same because I wanted to keep them pretty simple and pretty safe. So our spread is going to be a 170 HP, an 88 in attack, and then a 252 in our special defense. I am running that Sassy Mint to go ahead and raise our special defense even further and lower our speed. In this set, you can run the Assault Vest, become even more of a tank, or you go ahead and can run that Shell Bell set to keep healing every time you hit. So it's very interesting that you can't do that. The Swords Dance will let you set up as well. So very nice being able to dish out more damage. Now, Technician is what's going to be helping our bug type moves since they are level 50 damage or under. You know, it powers up weak moves like that, so you get a 50% boost to them. So being a 50% boost, one of those moves actually lowering the special defense stat is always going to be big, especially if you are going in there and you're kind of the only one lowering the stats, because it just stacks on top of itself. Very good set here. Highly recommend trying this one out. I'm going to be taking him into the Mewtwo raid because I want to see Scizor succeed. So it's just one I'm wanting to look at. Now, let's go ahead and jump on to Mew. So Mew is going to be a very interesting Pokemon here because we did get the free giveaway that is still going on. I do have a video on the channel going over that. The interesting thing is Mew's supposed to be getting a double stat boosts, supposedly, whenever we do go into this Mewtwo raid. So you might just end up running this Mew, and the way it's set up, you're an absolute tank and you can do massive amounts of damage. So we are running that Terra Dark again. That is going to be a very heavy theme here to go ahead and deal with that. All those other moves, you're just also mitigating his psychic type damage, which can be very devastating if you're not a dark type. He is running the Shell Bell to go ahead and heal up. You could also be running like a Black Glasses or a Black Belt. They help your dark type and super effective moves do more damage, but I have found that Shell Bell is the best way to go since you can go ahead and keep healing up. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the moves to show you kind of what we're running here. So this is where Mew gets very interesting since it does, again, just like Mewtwo, has a very vast move pool. First off, we're going to be running Pollen Puff. You might be thinking, why are we running Pollen Puff? Well, Mew is a special attacker here, and Pollen Puff lets you do damage through shield. Yet, if you go in there with a team, you will go ahead and deal healing damage to your teammates. It's not really damage, but you end up healing your teammates to help keep everybody alive. You can definitely be a mixed support here, which is very useful, and it does always work because it's super effective. So that's amazing. Next up, we have Snarl. Snarl, you know, lowers the special attack of the opposing Pokemon, just like Bug Buzz. Very useful here being a special attacker, which I'm thinking Mewtwo will be, and you pretty much just render it useless, which is amazing. Then we have Acid Spray. Acid Spray has been a very good move across multiple Tera Raids, being able to lower that special defense stat, helping you set up and do more damage. Now on Mew, you are a special attacker, so our Tera Blast is going to be dark type, and it will do massive amounts of damage if you do get that at a -6. And being that Tera Dark, immune to psychic types, you honestly get to sit there and do whatever you want. You got great stats. Some things you could be looking at if needed is a Nasty Plot, is a Light Screen, Reflect. Those are moves you could swap on here. I'm going to be running the Pollen Puff Snarl Acid Spray Tera Blast because I do believe I have enough bulk on him to go ahead and wall off Mewtwo, even if it wants to try and set up. But let's go ahead and jump into those spreads. Now for that spread, we are going to be looking at the same spread, a little bit different, but the same. So it's a 170 HP. It is an 88 in our special attack. We actually have a very solid attack stat. And then a 252 in our special defense. With a modest mint, we have enough bulk here to withstand anything. And with that modest, we get to pump out more damage, raising our special attack and lowering our physical attack, which is always good. Not having to fully invest in special defense here is definitely a big thing, since Mewtwo can be very scary. Now we do have Synchronize as our ability, and it just, you know, if the Pokemon is burned, paralyzed, or poisoned, it goes to the other Pokemon. So it's a little interesting there. Don't think it's going to come in handy, but it is there if we need it. So let's go ahead and move on to Tyranitar, who's going to be a very big attacker. So Tyranitar is a rock dark type, leaning into that dark Tera type, just like everybody else. You could be running an Assault Vest, a Shell Bell, or Black Glasses, Black Belt, helping your dark type moves do more damage, because mainly that's the moves you're going to be running. But I have found Shell Bell to be really useful, since you can go ahead and heal up. You could also go ahead and just run a Assault Vest and become an absolute tank again, just like any of these guys can. So let's go ahead and jump into the moves. So the moves we're looking at is Snarl. It does lower the special attack stat, which is amazing. We do have Crunch as our main priority dark type move. Get to do massive amounts of damage. We are on the physical side, so it is a little interesting here. Not really much assistance, since you are going to lower that special defense on the other two Pokemon. Then we do have Taunt. Taunt's an amazing move here. You stop all setup. And then if you want to run anything like a Mud Slap, that's a good lowering accuracy move. So it makes Mewtwo's moves less accurate. Very good set there. You could be swapping that out with a Dark Pulse if you want to go ahead and attack on the special side. And then a Dragon Dance to go ahead and set up. That would make you quicker and do more damage. That's the only move you really get to set up with, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, solid move pool here. Stop the setup, lower the special attack, which is definitely needed here, and Crunch to do massive amounts of damage. So let's get on to the set. So that spread is going to be a 170 HP, an 88 in attack, and a 252 in special defense. We are running the Sassy Mint to go ahead and raise our special defense even further, lower our speed. The ability here is Unnerve. You can run Sandstream. Sandstream is a better move for him because of that rock typing. In Sandstorm, you do get a buff to your special defense stat in a Sandstorm. So you get to take more damage and not really have to worry about it. You could run Unnerve, perfectly fine. I highly recommend running that Sandstream. Just keep an eye out on your teammates, since they will be taking that damage. But if you do go in, Snarl turn 1, maybe Snarl turn 2, you're perfectly fine. Don't really need the Sandstorm. Definitely something to look out for. But that Focus Blast is something you definitely don't want to take on a undebuffed Mewtwo to a Tyranitar, because that's going to be a lot of damage. Now, let's go ahead and jump on to our last build. So, funny enough, our last build is one of the Pokemon that they gave us in the raid setup. So, it's going to be a Hydreigon. It's a very solid dark dragon type, leaning into that dark typing again. Being immune to psychic types here and psychic type moves is going to be crucial in this raid, I feel, since it is going to get a power up just being Terra. Now we are running a Shell Bell. You could be running the Black Glasses, Black Belt if you'd like. Very interesting. You could also be running an Assault Vest if you'd like. In all these sets, they can run an Assault Vest with the spreads they have, or they could be running a Shell Bell to guarantee you heal up, not having to worry completely on a support mon, but that is an option. So let's go ahead and jump into the moves. So for those moves, we are looking at a Dark Pulse. Since we are going to be a special attacker, we do have Nasty Plot to go ahead and set up. Gonna be able to do massive amounts of damage if we get some Nasty Plots off. We do have Snarl again to lower that special attack, and then Taunt to go ahead and stop any setup coming off of Mewtwo. You can be running something like a Helping Hand or a Reflect. I don't see us needing Reflect right now because I'm still expecting it to be a special attacker. But if you do need it, it is there. And just like Mew having the ability to run Light Screen, Blissey and Grimmsnarl having the ability to run Light Screen and heal everybody, there's going to be massive amounts of healings across this entire team, from Blissey to Scizor to Mew to Grimmsnarl. Like, everybody gets to heal. Everybody can hold a Shell Bell with all these spreads, so don't really have to worry about that. Now, let's go ahead and jump onto the last spread. So pretty much like all the spreads, this is going to be a 180 HP. I put a little bit more HP on him. And then a 78 in special attack and a 252 in special defense. He is going to be able to take lots of advantages off of those Snarls, off of those Bug Buzzes. Everything's going to help out with the Struggle Bugs, lowering that special defense stat, the Acid Sprays. He's going to be a massive special attack user. So that Dark Pulse is going to do massive amounts of damage. If you get a Nasty Plot off and you get some Acid Sprays off on the team, you're going to be pretty much cleaning house with him and not have to worry about much, especially if you get that Dark Tera off. But we are going to be running the Sassy Mint as well, raising our special attack. But we are going to be running the Modest Mint, raising our special attack, lowering our attack. You can also run a Sassy to raise special defense, lower your speed if you would like. I'm going to be running mine with a Modest, and having that Levitate as the ability isn't really going to be super helpful since you're just kind of immune to any ground type moves, but it is going to be a little interesting. That's kind of the only really move that you can use on him. But out of these Pokemon, let me know which one you're thinking about is going to be working in the Mewtwo raid. I'm really excited for the Scizor. I've done lots of calcs on the Scizor because I really want him to work because I got a shiny one. But let me know in the comment section down below which one you're going to be taking in, and I'll catch you guys in the raids.